Happy Gilmore 2 brings back everything fans loved about the original and adds just enough fresh chaos to feel like a worthy sequel. The movie takes place years after Happy's iconic rise to fame in the golf world. Now older, out of shape, and clearly past his prime, Happy Gilmore is living in quiet obscurity. He spends his days avoiding attention, watching old tapes of his greatest hits, and grumbling about how boring the new generation of golfers has become. But his peaceful retirement is shaken when a new crop of arrogant, social media-driven golf stars start mocking his legacy and the raw, unpredictable style that once shook the sport to its core. One of them even claims that Happy's wild swing was nothing more than luck, a spark that never really mattered in the evolution of golf. That's all it takes. The fire returns, and with it, the madness. Adam Sandler slips right back into the role of Happy Gilmore like he never left. He's still hot-tempered, foul-mouthed, and hilarious, but now there's a layer of tired wisdom beneath all the yelling and fistfights. Watching him try to re-enter a golf world now dominated by influencers, analytics, and polite press conferences is comedy gold. His complete disregard for modern norms and his refusal to let golf become too serious again forms the heart of the movie's charm. The film is filled with hilarious scenarios, from Happy throwing clubs into drones, to viral feuds with smug pros who can't handle real trash talk. There's even a wild golf challenge set inside a man-made volcano, because of course there is. Shooter McGavin makes a brilliant return, now rebranding himself as a golf mentality guru, and running overpriced online courses teaching young players how to master the psychological side of the game. He and Happy still hate each other, and their interactions are some of the funniest moments in the movie. The rivalry is older, pettier, and even more ridiculous than before. Somehow, it works. And yes, the film pays tribute to Bob Barker with a ghostly cameo that's both absurd and perfect in a way only Sandler can pull off. At its core, Happy Gilmore 2 is about legacy. Happy struggles with the idea that his wild career might be forgotten or dismissed by a world that's moved on. That emotional thread becomes more real when he meets a young, angry teen golfer who's clearly walking the same path he once did. The mentorship that forms between them adds just enough heart to balance out the slapstick humor and insane golf stunts. It's not overly sentimental, but it's enough to remind you that behind all the jokes, there's a real story about identity, pride, and the fight to stay true to yourself. The movie isn't perfect. Some jokes don't land, and a few scenes try a little too hard to echo the first film's magic. But overall, it delivers exactly what it promises: laughs, chaos, and one more shot at glory. For fans of the original, this sequel feels like a well-deserved encore. It doesn't try to be smarter than it is. It just wants to make you laugh, cheer, and remember why Happy Gilmore, the man with the hockey stick swing and the endless rage, will always be a legend.
There's something refreshing about Happy Gilmore 2 in a world where sequels often try too hard to be darker, deeper, or unnecessarily complicated. This movie knows exactly what it is: a loud, ridiculous, proudly immature comedy that exists purely to entertain, and it leans into that identity with zero shame. From the moment Happy throws his first golf club across the driving range and knocks out an unsuspecting golf cart driver, you know you're in for a good time. The slapstick humor is dialed up, the insults are vintage Sandler, and the golf scenes are more like action movie sequences than real sports. And somehow, it works beautifully. What makes it even better is how self-aware the film is. It doesn't ignore the fact that decades have passed. Happy is older, the world has changed, and golf is no longer a gritty, rebellious underdog sport. It's sleek, commercialized, and full of TikTok stars who care more about brand deals than birdies. The film plays with that contrast constantly. There's a hilarious scene where Happy tries to sign up for a new tournament but is denied because he refuses to wear the sponsored, smart visor that monitors players' emotions. His response? He bites it in half, calls it a robot hat, and walks away yelling about how golf used to be about just whacking the ball and yelling at birds. We also get more depth from Happy this time around. He's not just the wild man with anger issues. He's someone who's wrestling with what it means to matter. He knows his time is fading, and part of the reason he comes back isn't just to prove the haters wrong. It's to remind himself that he still has something left to give. That emotional undercurrent is never overwhelming, but it's present enough to give the film some real weight. Sandler handles it well, switching effortlessly between heartfelt and unhinged. The cinematography, surprisingly, gets a glow up in this sequel. The golf courses are massive and cinematic, with sweeping drone shots, creative course designs, and visual effects that make every swing feel like an event. One tournament takes place in a futuristic arena with a glow-in-the-dark theme, complete with neon hazards and a cheering live audience. It's like golf meets wrestling, and Happy thrives in it. Supporting characters help keep the story grounded and fun. Julie Bowen returns as Virginia, now Happy's wife, offering moments of sarcastic love and frustration as she supports his comeback while rolling her eyes at his antics. There's also a cameo from Christopher McDonald as an even more desperate Shooter McGavin, who has now launched a golf podcast where he trash-talks everyone while drinking wine and practicing swing drills in his living room. The rivalry between him and Happy remains gloriously immature, filled with pranks, taunts, and one very inappropriate trophy sabotage. The final act of the film builds up to a chaotic, over-the-top championship round that perfectly mirrors the climax of the first film. There are explosions. There's a golf cart chase. There's even a crowd riot when Happy punches a snobby commentator in the face for suggesting he should retire with dignity. And when Happy takes that final swing, slow motion, sweat flying, rage in his eyes, you can't help but cheer. It's not just nostalgia. It's catharsis. It's a reminder that even the loudest, most unrefined heroes can still hit that one perfect shot that shuts everyone up. In the end, Happy Gilmore 2 * is everything a sequel like this should be. It honors the original without trying to outdo it. It brings the laughs, throws in a little heart, and gives longtime fans a ridiculous, satisfying ride. It doesn't try to modernize Happy. It lets him crash into the modern world like a wrecking ball, and that's exactly why it works. It's crude, chaotic, and full of joy, just like Happy himself.